because I think it's a different challenge that I ever faced, and was very interesting at this point of my career. I have this. I mean, when you get into the fight, of course, everybody's nervous, everybody wants to win, but right now in the camp it's very interesting and very curious how we're gonna deal with, a totally different challenge that I ever had, because all the fighters pretty much that I fight, they want just strike, they want to sprawl, they want to avoid takedowns, they want to avoid grappling, and Bane represents wrestling, a grappling art like I do, and so it's just a different puzzle right now, and that's in this point of my career. It's very exciting. It's very interesting for me and for my team. This challenge right now, and another great thing is I pretty much carry on the flag of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he carry on also a flag of wrestling, and that's makes this fight even more interesting, because it's not, I think, a challenge of styles, but it's a kind of fighter that is kind of rare nowadays, the fighters that really represent something and stand up for something.
Anyone else?
Ben, what's the main difference between preparing for a high-level wrestling competition versus a mixed martial arts fight?
Well, I'm interesting enough. Damien was speaking on bringing someone in for me, and it's this is really the first time in my competitive career where I've actually had to worry about grappling. Before, one of my coaches saying, "Well, you kind of give up this and that easy." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's because I know the other guys suck." And I don't really have to worry about it too much, well, if someone's good, I'll treat them a little differently, but if someone sucks, I'll treat them one way. And so it's really interesting because now, like he's saying, at no point in my career have I been like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is really good at jiu-jitsu. I'm really worried about this. I'm really worried about that." I haven't had that feeling. And so now to have to put that piece of the puzzle together, before I could recklessly go for takedowns because, well, I'm not really worried about them doing any submission holds. So now it is a lot of fun, trying to figure out this new puzzle, putting all these new pieces together. So I guess I'll echo what he said. I'm pumped about that, and I love the challenge.
Hi Ben. How important is this bout for you, especially after the previous bout?
Yeah. Well, I think MMA has such a short memory that every bout is equally as important as. Every bout is the most important one, right? And so going into my last one, had I won that, I think there's a really good chance I'm fighting for the title against Usman on November 2nd in Madison Square Garden. And it just so happened that I had one move go wrong, and that had never happened in 20 years of my career. And 20 fights in my career, I had never been knocked down. I mean, think about that. I had never really been rocked, not once in 20 fights. And then so for that to happen, that catastrophic event to happen, and it kind of, it knocked me down a few pegs. Obviously I know I got to go beat Damien, and after that, then I got to look at the path and say, okay, who else do I got to beat? Is it one more fight after that? Is it two more fights after that? What is it? But every fight is as important as anyone you've ever had. And that's just a really short memory in MMA. So if I go beat Damien, and again, Damien's fought for a title two different ways. He's only lost to the top 3 guys in our division. There's no one else in our division he's lost to. And so if I can go beat him, and this is what I thought in my head when I said yes, if I can go beat him, I very clearly established myself as one of the best guys in the weight class, which I think I am. So then after that, again, then I have to go reevaluate who am I going to go after next, and what is my path forward, because yeah, I was right there. I was right there, and I effed up, and I effed up at the wrong time.
Damien, have you been to the Performance Institute in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I've been when they just opened that in the last summit, I think back in 2017.
Oh, well, a long time ago, right?
Yeah, right when they opened. And actually it was funny because, I was talking to Woodley, and he came and said, "Let's go fight in July, I think, or August." I said, no, it's sure. And then I came back to Brazil a week later, they called me, "You gotta fight now in July."
Well, how do you feel? I mean, both of you guys have been in the game for so long, and it's definitely come a long way as far as how people train and everything else. There's a lot more sports science. There's a lot more sort of you know, along with other professional athletes, diagnostics and testing, for two guys who've been in it for so long, how do you guys feel like this change is going to, what kind of changes do you think this will bring to the sport?
You mean the institute?
Yeah, the institute and the approach. I mean, just as far as sports science and versus, you know, the old way is kind of everybody get in the gym, iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, there's a lot more, you know, diagnostics. There's a lot more testing, strength and conditioning, nutrition, all of those sorts of things.
Yeah, for sure. Our sport is pretty new, and you know, has been since I started the UFC in 2007 to now. It's totally changed the game, and it's become a real like professional sport like other sports. So people start to have access to science and nutrition, you know, at top level, and the performance center is one thing that, you know, brings that to fighters. It was amazing when I was there, you know, what they had, and probably now they have even more developed the things there.
I'm actually kind of old school. I've been at the wrestling, you know, the first time I wrestled for a national title in college was 2003, I think, 2004. So it's been, you know, I've been at the top of my game for 15 years, and I always feel like my body is the best indicator. I know myself really, really, really well, and I think sometimes people get too obsessed with the diagnostics and everything else, and it's like, once you learn how to listen to yourself, then everything else just goes downhill.
Hi guys, I'm Gary Tang. I'll be heading to the PI in Shanghai next week to train. So this question for Ben. Has Ben been to the PI before in Vegas?
Yeah, I've been to Vegas four times now, maybe. I think the first time, obviously, cornering guys, Tyron Woodley or whoever it was. Yeah, I mean, so I said I don't use all the high-tech stuff. That being said, the Institute is fantastic. They have great mat area, great octagon, sauna, steam room, cold tub, hot tub, everything. And I've heard the one in Shanghai is nicer.
Do you think you'll probably use it next time?
If I find Shanghai, I would, but obviously that's a long way from home for me. It took me 22 hours to get here. I think Shanghai's a little shorter, but it's still quite a ways.
Andrew Whitelaw, Fox Sports Asia. Ben, you've fought multiple times in Singapore in your career. You've never lost here. Is that kind of a good omen for you? And are you going to come and train here at all? Is there any old stomping ground for you and places you like to go eat, go train?
Yeah. Well, until July, I never lost anywhere. Damn it. So I will come early. I'm going to train at Evolve. I built some really great relationships there. They have awesome people. I mean, it's really, I don't know if you guys have been there, but great environment. So I'll come a few days early, train there, then obviously do my weight cut and everything else. But yeah, I'll probably be here, I don't know, 8 days early, 9 days early, something like that.
Hi, my name is Kelvin. My first question is to Mr. Maia. Your recent 3 losses to Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, and Kamaru Usman, the 3 of them, one common factor is they're all known, I mean, they're all wrestlers, right? Of course, they have other skill sets, but wrestling has a very strong base. So now you're fighting Ben Askren, who's also a wrestler base. Is there anything, what do you think would be different about this fight?
I think they were wrestlers, you're right, but they were wrestlers that they were willing just to avoid the grappling game. You're like not fighting wrestling, but they were just avoiding and trying to hit me. And with Bane, you know, I'm sure it's different because he's not a guy who is just gonna avoid. I think he will fight. So that's the main difference. I think, you know, in MMA, you know, their styles is totally different.
My second question is to Askren, kind of follow up as well. Since, right, like David mentioned, he is kind of counting on you to engage him on the ground. And with that said, do you think that you know, engaging him on the ground would be the smart move to do, considering he's already planning for you to do that? And if we were to consider that, you know, you were good friends with Tyron Woodley before, right? I mean, good friends with Tyron Woodley. Will you be trying to emulate part of his game plan since he's done pretty well against David Maia in their previous fight?
Well, I mean, David hit the nail on the head. Not that not obvious for anyone who watches fighting, but I am not any of those guys. Significantly different. But I was Damian Maia for Tyron Little's training camp. I feel like I prepared him very well. I studied Damian's game at length. I feel like I know it inside and out. So I think, you know, it kind of like everything. Well, I'm saying, it's going to be a battle of wills, right? I know what he's going to try to do, so can I execute to stop him or not? I feel like that's like a lot of my fights. Like, I am so narrowly focused, and I'm so good at what I do, that it's like, okay, if I can go execute, which 19 out of 20 times has happened, go execute on what I want to execute on, I'm going to win, plain and simple. Now, the execution in this fight is a little different. Like I said, I have to be more careful and more on the takedowns. I have to be really strong in certain positions on the ground that Damian's good at. Obviously, like half guard, for example, will be one of them. It's not a secret. Damian's got a really good half guard that's not going to surprise anyone. You know, big shocker. I have to be good there. I have to be really good there. And so, yeah, so I don't think there's a lot of surprises coming from either one of us. It's going to be who can execute on the game plan better than the other one.
Thank you.
Hi, Damien. You have a long and successful career. So how do you put this this fight in the context of your career? How important it is for you?
I think, like I said, in this point of my career, it's a great fight. You know, after this, I want to do maybe a couple more fights and that's it. So to have the opportunity to fight a totally different fighter right now was great for me, and very condecorated wrestler also, and you know, champion in other organizations. So it's a great challenge. You know, it's something great, and also to come here and open the market in Singapore for the UFC and make history. You know, being the UFC for the first time here, it's great.
You know, we've been calling this event a throwback for the original fans of the UFC. And how many, you know, Ben, do you see any kind of, in this new wave of talent, single discipline guys that have come up, just mastered their craft and are just applying it and pushing around the divisions?
Well, I mean, the funniest thing about this is that Damian, although he, he said he cares for the flag for jiu-jitsu and I do for wrestling, and that's pretty much true. Sure, fair enough, right? But at the same time, like, not to pick on jiu-jitsu, Damian, but how come you're the only one who's learned how to do takedowns? Like, none of those other guys get takedowns. You're the only one who every single time he gets a takedown. You know, so it's like Damian has immersed himself in that wrestling culture where he can actually go get a takedown. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys can't. And I feel like I've also immersed myself. I mean, I competed at the Abu Dhabi all the way back in 2009, so I've immersed myself in jiu-jitsu as well. So although we carry our flags, I think we've both more than dabbled in the other arts.
Yeah, of course, I think, you know, the great mistakes that many jiu-jitsu fighters, they do is they think they need to get better stand-up, and they just go, you know, and do striking martial arts. And I think the most important thing is to control, you know, the clinch and the takedown. And of course, if you come from jiu-jitsu, that's what I say to all the kids that are coming from jiu-jitsu, they want to fight, you know. Wrestling is like a closing art, you know, it's a sibling art. So it's very good to learn that, and it's much easier for us to learn wrestling. Like for a wrestler, you know, it's fast to get good in jiu-jitsu. For us, the same thing. So I don't understand why people just go, and I did the same mistake, you know, and they do just, you know, a lot of boxing and striking, and they don't focus on do something that is much more easier to learn for a grappler fighter and much more effective in your game.
Now, who do you think carries the flag of the next generation in your respective discipline?
Right now, I think, you know, I like very much Charles de Oliveira, you know, Charles Lebron. And although he's more well-rounded, you know, Thai boxing fighter also. But, you know, people are, they have different styles right now. But, you know, I do something that I believe, you know. And of course, you know, I cross-train I have a lot of friends in grapplers and wrestlers. I go to US a lot for wrestling training since 2010. And it's a cross-training, of course, you know, but yeah, that's the guy that I see most now.
Do we have any more questions? Anything for Kevin?
All right. Good. Okay. Well, at this point in the program, we're going to get into photo opportunities. Before that, we'd like to thank you both, of course, for making the long journey out here. Remember, the tickets are on sale now at sportshubtix.sg. Ticket prices range from $58 to ultimate VVIP packages at $16.88. So we're going to take a couple minutes, clear the stage, come back up for the face-off.